Hi guys, welcome to beybs Life in the US.
First strikes came with precision daylight bombing by the 8th Air Corps, right? Those Americans in November, 2 months before this election, and Franklin Delano Roosevelt swore that under no circumstances, none, would American boys ever go back over to defend it. Swore it, a blood oath, to beat Wendell Wickey. Never gonna do it. Never gonna happen. We will not do it. And as we were taking incoming in the Pacific in 1942, right? Wake Island fell, the Philippines fell, eventually Singapore is there. We were taking the big effort, the massive effort was against Nazi Germany. Okay, that's because Hitler declared war. No, we never declared war on Hitler. Hitler declared war on us. We're bringing Derek Harvey. Derek, geopolitically right now, you had Putin, who's on MSNBC, and all the geniuses on MSNBC and the New York Times, everybody gets on MSNBC and CNN, told me that his army was going to be defeated 6 months ago. He let off his own mini version of the air attack of the firebombing of London last night in Kiev. Sir, give us your assessment. You're one of the best, smartest geopolitical thinkers around. We just, Mitch McConnell tells us the number one priority of the Republican Party is the Ukraine war. And this is why we absolutely had to get the omnibus passed in 48 hours without being read 4,200 pages, because it's got $80 billion of assistance to other militaries, but particularly it's got $45 to $50 billion to Ukraine, which gets us up to $100 billion in the first 10 months. Colonel Derek Harvey.
Yeah, I think that's just the first down payment, Steve. And, I looked at that film you just showed, and it was stunning. And we have to think about what's going on in Ukraine right now, because it is the Ukraine society, their industry, their infrastructure that's being pummeled day in and day out. And if you're a Ukrainian, you're looking at this and you're thinking, when are we going to strike back against Russia? And they're being restrained in many ways by NATO and the United States, because there's a tremendous amount of trepidation about escalating the conflict. And even President Biden said something the other day about the risk of a World War III. So, if you're Russia, in the media today, what we hear about Russia is they are done, that they've essentially lost. They didn't meet their strategic objectives, and the momentum was Ukraine. But if you look at it geopolitically, Russia is still in a good position. They're not being attacked. Their cities aren't being attacked. And they've declared very effectively that the status quo, meaning the full provinces they occupy, are the starting point for any negotiations going forward. So where do we go from here? Even if we're successful in some way of using our credit card to continue to finance this is looking like another endless war with no outcome that is going to be satisfactory to anybody. And how do you get to an end game? That's the big question, because there is no way out of this at this point. I'd just like to make one other slight point to remind people that if one looks back at this, in 2014, the Obama-Biden presidency in Ukraine, that led to Putin then
ahead for Elon Musk as he goes up as he finds. Derek, Colonel Harvey, I appreciate you sticking around, but we're going to get into more of the vaccine part of this with Dr. Malone and Naomi Wolf and Colonel Lance in a moment. But your assessment, this administrative state, you deal with it in the national security aspect, but Malone just bringing out there, FBI, CIA, all over social media. You were the first guy to tell me. He said, hey, this administrative state is not the old bureaucracy people know. It is the Leviathan. Colonel Derek Harvey.
Yeah, we can't really break it because, even with the White House, we were unable to do so because we didn't have good people leading these organizations. Very hard to get the right people in that will have the fight in them and understand what they're up against. And a lot of people that are in that group that you would select from sort of deny what we're really dealing with. I'd like to make 3 quick points for you, though, Steve. One is on Ukraine. The stalemate strategy of the administration is in play for NATO and Biden the wild card is going to be Zelensky and his not wanting to abide by that and wanting to recover territory. At the end of the day, we're going to sweeten the pot for Zelensky and Ukraine with more U.S. taxpayer dollars to the tune of $1 trillion at the end of the day in rebuilding that country over a period of a decade. That's something that we're going to be looking at down the road. Number two, as far as this administrative state and the pushback in the medical arena, the intelligence community refused to give the oversight committees the names of the experts that they use to evaluate COVID response, and COVID origins. And the names of those people, are linked to the people that were involved in the research in Wuhan. They financed it, they helped develop it, and so we need to get those names out to the public so they understand the intelligence community's assessments were biased by the source experts that were utilized by them, and they will not give us those names to the committee and to the public so that we can fully understand why the assessments were made about the origins of COVID and the course that we went on. The last thing that I'd like to mention is there were significant alternative views out there within DoD in the military medical community as well as in the military intelligence community that were at variance. And we need to get to the bottom of that because there was more truth-telling going on in lower levels in the bureaucracy than what came up in the D&I level and through NIH, etc. Those are my 3 points.
Colonel Harvey, how do people get to you on social media and your website?
DerekHarvey.org or at Truth Social, I'm at Derek Harvey, and I'm also at voteDerekHarvey.com. And you can get a hold of me at any one of those 3 places.
I'm inspiring politicians that are saying, Colonel Harvey, thanks for taking the time away for the holidays. I wanted to, so when you talk about the medical and vaccines, why is Dr. Malone talking CIA, FBI? Why is Derek Harvey talking intelligence services? Tony Lyons, let's bring in Tony Lyons, the heroic publisher. And Tony, just as a quick background, because we're cramped for time, we gotta get Naomi in too. You're no right-winger, right? You're kind of like Bobby Kennedy and Naomi, Dr. Malone. You're not some fire-breathing right-wing populist, are you? I mean, your publishing house has become kind of a foundational element in the search for truth, but you didn't start this being a bomb-throwing right-wing populist, did you, sir?
No, this is all about free speech. It's all about hearing both sides of the argument. When you look at Dr. Robert Malone's book, Lies My Government Told Me, you hear and you see what happened. That they told you to follow the science. They said you should believe in science. But Dr. Robert Malone is the expert. He's the one who you should believe. And you've been lied to. And that's what this book shows. That's what all the drugs, the vaccines were never tested. Like Dr. Malone said before.
Okay, bye everyone, and don't forget to subscribe below and thumbs up to our channel and check out our beybs closet in HCEB and Macari, and also check out our beautiful decor in HCEB. Bye bye guys, see you to the next video. God bless you all. Bye.